Hey there, hi there, hi diddly do there. Hi there, hi there, hi there. I'm gonna go over lore real quick, alright? Now, shall I tell you what, part of Indamati's powers are? Yeah. Alright, now, part of the powers are part of, the cycle of, growth and decay, yeah. Now, the reason for that is because of, old magic that, is related to, very ancient, fairies that were kind of before even the ones that, kind of caused the war that, kind of caused the whole mess in the body and, Lumina Night even. Yeah, and, most fairies even, split factions and most people don't even know about it. But yeah, the cycle of growth and decay, it's not like good and evil, it's more like, natural processes. And they kind of, go, and they kind of, work with, and they kind of can't have one without the other. But, it does allow for, using white and black magic. Yes, I'm very adept at, all the schools of magic, Although, I think other members of Dreams are a little bit better at, are definitely way better at, certain types of magic than I am. Especially like the one, the Halloween magical girl, she knows way more about necromancy than I do. Yeah, I just find, skeletons a little too creepy. Yeah, and I also have a heroine, who does alchemy, like, at the S tier. Yeah, that's not something I do. My specialty is more like white magic and, illusion magic. Now, illusion magic, I'm like, very S tier at, yeah. Although it did lead to me being seen as more of a support character by the Big League Association, which I do need to go for them real soon. I probably will. Anyway, I'll let. All right, now the cycles of growth and decay. All right, now growth will probably be more like the white, more like the white magic, adjacent. And, adjacent powers, and, the decay would be more like the black magic and, the more adjacent powers to that. It's partly because of the moon, you see. The moon has a dark side and a light side, and, there's full moon, and there's a, new moon, which you guys obviously know. So technically speaking, I am capable of, both. One of my favorite techniques is using Midsummer Dream and, Winter's Night. That's, alright now. I should get like 2 moon orbs that, follow me around, and I can have one that's like black and white. Yeah, that'd be a really neat addition to it. It'll be a neat addition to my ads at, to my bat summons. Anyway, I'll see you later. See you later, and remember to fly like bat and shine like the moon. Repeat our stuff dreams are made of. Bye bye now. I love you guys. You're so awesome. And cute! Unlike me. Now, don't forget to get, like and subscribe and give me your name, okay? I'm fair. You can trust me with your name, yeah. Actually, I'm just kidding. Only joking. It's part of what we, who are loosely associated with the Sealy Court do. I'm not officially affiliated with either of them. Besides, old, Unseelie is kind of, extinct. Well, I suppose there's a Neo Unseelie, but we don't talk about them. They're basically a villain organization, basically. Goodbye.